Liverpool have a 100% record in the Premier League. They travel to Crystal Palace, the top flight's only other unbeaten side, and the only team to have beaten them in any competition this season. Mark Scott was at Selhurst Park.
Set-piece goal led to Palace win.
We were always talking about our personality and so that always let's go for a win, and the players, I think, they have now implemented it, and then they also want it. And I think, again, everybody who is close to Crystal Palace got the reward today, and I think this is just because the players went for the win.
What was his message to you when you came on?
You know, he said I was going to get a situation, so just to stay calm, and I tried to do that.
Talk me through that situation, because you did stay very calm indeed.
Yeah, you know, I saw Will, win the header in there, and it was coming over, and it was a nice clean strike on my left foot, and obviously it was a bit of a wait with VAR, but happy to get the goal in the end, yeah.
Yeah, it was well worth the wait for Eddie Nketiah and for Crystal Palace. A deserved win and a dominant performance from Palace. How did they do it, Alan?
Well, there's a lot of talk about systems, in particular in our league, whether you can play three at the back with two wing-backs in the Premier League. This is a team that can, because they haven't been beaten this season. They beat Manchester City in the FA Cup last year. They went head-to-head with Liverpool in the Community Shield, took that home as well. But they're very, very well coached, they're very well organised, and all the players are very comfortable in this system, and they're excellent at it. There's your centre-forward, there's your two 10s in Sarr and Pino, and there's your two sitting midfielders, Kamada and Wharton. Of course, you've got your two wing-backs who were also excellent again today. There's the first to go, Kamada. OK, he doesn't get the ball, but just watch the way the players move around and work off each other and know when to the trigger as to who goes, who's going to press, and then everyone else backs him up. And now this is a really good move early on in the game. They get the corner from that, and then they eventually score from that corner from there. So, again, there's your guys who are sitting, there's your guys who are waiting to go. And no surprise, again, the press is first from one of their sitting midfielders, and say what you want about Konate, he gets done off the ball there. But look, they work it really, really well. Your two 10s, Sarr and Pino, working well together and understanding each other. There's your two wing-backs, making the pitch so big and so difficult for Liverpool to get back in. So you've got one wing-back, Mitchell, into the other wing-back there, into Munoz. And Palace absolutely battered Liverpool in the first half. If it wasn't for Alisson, who made 4 or 5 magnificent saves, the game would have been over then. There's one of your 10s again. Look at the other midfielder running off him. And then, again, Konate gets mugged off Mateta, and it's another fabulous save from Alisson again. Ball in behind. Look at Munoz again trying to get into the box there. And this would have been such a clever goal. So well worked, as I said. Everyone understanding. Fantastic effort from Mateta. Really, really unlucky not to see it go in the back of the net. Kamada there again, the sitting midfielder, playing the ball through. How and when to play it with the pace. And it's just, they look, as I said, they were absolutely outstanding. And here's the winning goal, which they deserved. And they make it so difficult for Liverpool to clear that ball. They don't let them settle at all. And that is a great finish. Nothing more than Crystal Palace deserved. They really have been absolutely superb. They're unbeaten this season, as I said. And if they can keep the vast majority of those players fit, then they could have a very, very exciting season.
Not just unbeaten this season, unbeaten in 18 games in all competitions. They're on a fantastic run, Micah. This is not, and far from, a one-off good performance from them. They've been excellent for a while.
They have been really excellent. I think when Alan showed there in his clips how fluid they are. So when they go from, if it's a low block and then the transition, it's really quick. Everyone knows where to be. And Alan made a really good point there, the trigger, when to go. So many times when we see teams play, they don't know when to go. They're sort of waiting, shall I? And then all this team are so well organised. And that comes from the manager, who is just brilliant. Don't forget, he won the Europa League at Frankfurt. He comes from decent pedigree already. But this team, it just delightful.
No fluke today. They deserved it. They were much better than Liverpool.
And Liverpool not at the races at all. What went wrong with their performance?
They were all over the place, particularly defensively. The way Palace moved the ball, the way they closed down, they just didn't have an answer to that, particularly the first half. We've seen them rip them up and 5 or 6 times with really good play. And Liverpool, after so many errors, so many spaces that were allowing Palace to get on the ball and play at their tempo. As I said, if it wasn't for Alisson, it would have been 4 or 5 at half-time.
Konate is starting to worry me a little bit. Him and Van Dijk have been a good partnership and have done really well together, but his individual errors at this moment in time, it's just making the back line look a little bit nervy. You know, Liverpool are always good in defence. Van Dijk, he always marshals the back line, but they give Palace too many opportunities for no actual reason. It was just being sloppy, and that's so unlike Liverpool.
Yeah, and Crystal Palace, not a side you want to give any opportunity to take advantage.
Crystal Palace delivered a dramatic and hard-fought victory over Liverpool, prevailing 2-1 at Selhurst Park and ending the Reds' perfect start to the season. From the 9th minute, Palace set the tone. After Liverpool failed to clear a corner from the left side, the ball fell invitingly in the 6-yard box, and Ismaila Sarr tucked it home from close range to give the hosts an early lead. Liverpool scrambled to respond, and their keeper, Alisson, was soon called into action, denying close-range efforts from Pino, Mateta, and others as Palace pressed for a second. Despite Palace's dominance in the first half, Liverpool were not entirely without hope. A free kick from Salah was blocked, and a rebound by Gravenberch was pushed onto the post by Palace's last-line defense. Meanwhile, Palace came close again via Jean-Philippe Mateta, whose fine runs and flicks tested the Reds' back line. The first half ended with Liverpool fortunate to be only 1 goal down. In the second half, Liverpool gradually imposed themselves more. They sought to find a route back into the match and forced several openings, though the hosts remained alert on the break. With time running out, Liverpool introduced Federico Chiesa from the bench, and in the 87th minute, his opportunistic finish restored parity. The ball fell to him in the box after a deflected delivery, and he clipped it into the net. The goal survived a VAR check, despite suspicion of a handball involving Mohamed Salah earlier in the move. With momentum shifting, Liverpool sensed they could take all 3 points, but Palace refused to buckle. In injury time, from a long throw-in into the box, Eddie Nketiah pounced, executing a cool finish past Alisson to clinch the victory for the Eagles. A VAR offside check delayed the confirmation, but the goal stood. When the final whistle blew, the relief and jubilation were evident at Selhurst Park. Palace had withstood the late pressure and earned a memorable triumph. Palace's first half control was instrumental. Alisson's saves kept Liverpool alive, and Chiesa's goal briefly suggested a draw, but Nketiah's strike sealed the upset. The late drama reflected the fine margins of Premier League football, where a single throw-in or defensive lapse can swing the result. This result ended Liverpool's unbeaten run in the league and reinforced Palace's credentials as a dangerous and resilient side.